Hello, my name is Savannah Garcia, and I am with the State Department of Historical Preservation. I saw your proposal, and I'm very interested to talk about it with you.
Sure.
Would you be able to talk to me a little bit about what exactly your task is going to be?
Yeah, definitely. So we are attempting to raise money for the Harrison home, and um, it uh, it's a historical landmark. So we would like to update the home, maybe create more of like a tourist attraction for it, and do a little bit of a charity as well for the home. So
Okay,
it's our task.
okay. So do you have a detailed estimate of what you expect the renovations to cost to preserve the home?
Yeah, after doing some calculations, it seems as though the cost would be between $70,000 to $100,000,
Okay.
and that would go to renovating just the whole lawn area outside of it, making sure that everything is pedestrian friendly and also accessible to all types of guests
Okay.
and the users of the home as well.
Okay, so are you specifically talking about like adding sections for like wheelchair bound
Definitely,
people?
yes.
Okay.
Accessible bathrooms, wheelchair, also making sure that the historical aspects of the home wouldn't physically damage anybody who's
Okay.
walking through it as well, since it is an older home.
Right. Okay, great. So how much do you need for the preservation? I think we already discussed that a little
Yes,
bit. You
so
said around
anywhere
70 to 100,
between
right?
70 to 100,000.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I add that in there. Okay. So how much do you expect from us, the State Department of Historical Preservation, to provide for your total amount? What numbers were you expecting from
I think
us?
about 30%
Okay.
of that amount would be adequate for us. We clearly would like to open this up to the public and to crowdfunding resources. But if the State Department could provide 30%, that would be really helpful.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. So how will you raise the money to complete your goal? So 30% is not that much.
Right.
What are you gonna do to
Raise
make
the
the
other
rest of your money?
Of course. So some of the things we had in mind were crowdfunding through things like Indiegogo and online resources, going through social media to
Okay.
spur some activity and some
Mhm.
interest, but also community crowdfunding resources, maybe an event. This area has a lot of like farmers markets and things like that going on the weekend, so we figured that maybe we could reach our audience through that outlet as well.
Okay.
hmm
Okay. So you said like farmers markets and stuff. Do you have any particular groups already in mind, like specifics that you wanted to work with?
Um, Not specifically, but approaching the students of JMU, of not JMU, all the acronyms of George Mason and other local colleges like Nova Community College as well, and seeing how the active students in those populations would be able to help us out.
Okay.
We plan to further our research into their interests and just the type of groups that they have on campus, since I know that they're perfectly capable of doing all of that, and it'd be a great opportunity for them as well to engage in civic involvement.
Okay.
So,
So, just to summarize, for the most part, you do not have a specific group in mind, but you have a couple ideas already set up that you're interested in.
definitely, yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so on that aspect, let's say you aren't able to raise all the money. What actions will you take to receive the adequate funding if you're unable to? Let me reword that. So, let's say you weren't able to get all the money you're looking for through fundraising, etc., and from us. What are you going to do in
Instead.
that case? Yes.
Okay, so if that were to happen, which would make sense that that would happen, we were thinking of just downgrading our renovation interests, focusing more on, I guess, the safety requirements rather than the aesthetics that we would have been improving on. So, for instance, not redoing the lawn area or the entranceway or certain other things, but I think making it accessible to different types of people in the community is probably the primary goal, because once it does open up, we want everybody to be able to enjoy it and come in and come through it. So I think that we would probably just focus on that.
Okay. So we are really tight on our budget right now. Why should we provide you the money?
I think that we should receive this money because it's for an extremely good cause. I think that the processes that we've been discussing about engaging members of the community, students, older members, younger members, to all chip in and participate and make this like not just a historic landmark but a community landmark as well, is really important to the civic culture of the area. So I think it would do a lot more than just being something that nobody touches. We want to make the whole process just as important as the finished product.
Right.
So I think that for those reasons, we deserve this amount.
Okay. So my next question you kind of answered, which was who would benefit from the project. So to summarize that, you would say the community. Would you say, what else would you say besides the community? Like, what involvement in the community would benefit? Or everyone in the community?
Of course. So I think that reframing or just bringing to light the values of the community, what this area stands for, and standing together and being unified in a project that highlights our past and our history and our foundation. I do think that by doing all of this, it would gain media attention and bring a little bit more, I guess, interest to what we have going on, and maybe that might affect other communities to do the same as well. So aside from just involving our community, I think it would be a great example for nearby areas. We have a lot of historic landmarks in this area, but for them to care more about their area and see what it can do for the people around them.
Okay. So when I specifically said who will benefit from this project, would you still say it was, you're saying that it's the community as well as other communities in the area, other landmarks will get more attention from this?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
By changing the process and the dialogue of how these landmarks are kept up and what makes them so important, as not just being historically important, but important in this moment now as a unifier. I think that would be a great example for other communities as well.
All right. So this kind of answered my last question too. I was going to ask you, what importance does this project provide for the community? But I think you've covered a lot of that. To summarize, and if you want to add anything more, definitely do. So the importance would be it provides media attention for other places, which can increase revenue. It can help education through bringing like the schools and other communities to these historical landmarks and providing more information about them. What else do you think would be important?
I think that really covers what we're going for right here. Just unification, community involvement, creating alternate methods for educating our students of all ages, because everybody is a student. So yeah, I think that definitely sums it up, and I really look forward to working with the State Department further to make sure that we approach this project in the best way possible.
All right. Well, I think you've provided me with a lot of really useful information. I'm really excited to see this further. Let me talk to other people in the community and get a good idea and on the board for the State Department. And we'll discuss it further, and we'll give you a final answer in a couple days. But I'm very interested.
Excellent. It was wonderful speaking with you, Savannah. I look forward to working on this further.
Thank you very much.